Hey, what's going on, guys? So if you missed the announcement on last week's live episode there on the USA Gundam TV channel, we announced a new USA Gundam Store contest. So I wanted to make this video here on my channel as well too, just for any of you guys who may have missed that or may have missed the post around on social media, let you guys know about the contest here as well too. And also to clear up a few things, since we announced it a couple days ago, some early questions have popped up, so I thought I'd address some of the questions you guys had right away. Here in this video as well too. So I'll go over all the details in this. If you've already seen all the details and everything, then maybe you don't need to necessarily watch this video. It's not really going to be anything new, but if you had questions, then hopefully this will clear it up for you. And if you haven't heard about the contest yet, then there's a contest going on, a new contest. So this is a USA Gundam Store contest that I'm also, of course, just involved with organizing and everything as well too. We've also got some amazing guest judges, and I'll let you guys know about them here in a minute first as well too. But as always, just thank you to USA Gundam Store for making it all possible, and all the prizes are going to be coming from USA Gundam Store as well too. Actually, a couple more prizes will be added as well too. I think also True Gunpla and one of our guest judges is also going to be including some prizes as well too. So I'll let you guys know about some more prizes to be added in the very near future, so just stay tuned for that. But for now, okay, so it's a clean versus weathered contest, and so basically that just means there's going to be two main categories, clean and weathered, and when you guys enter, you're going to be entering into either one category or the other. You can't enter both, and you can't enter a kit that's like half and half clean, half weathered, anything like that. So you have to choose one category that you're going to enter, and you can only submit one build, of course. Now, while the contest is put on by USA Gundam Store, it is open to anyone in the world, so no matter where you are in the world, it doesn't have to be in the US. Wherever you are in the world, you can enter. And the main focus of this is going to be on your finish, whether it's a clean finish or a weathered finish. So painting is definitely required, 100%. You can't submit a kit that's unpainted or partially painted. You're going to have to fully paint the kit. That's part of the requirements for this contest. You can't do any full dioramas, and you can't use multiple mobile suits or mechas or whatever like that. It has to be just on one robot, and it has to be a mecha. It doesn't have to be Gunpla. It can be Gunpla, it can be 30-minute missions, it can be Machine and Krieger, it could be frame arms, it could be any kits of like the Moderud mecha. So any robot model kit, but we aren't going to be allowing any bootleg kits. So if it's like a full bootleg kit, like a Daban kit or something like that, then that won't be allowed. If it's like some third-party weapons set or something like that, some plastic weapon set or something like that, or some third-party part set anyway, where like the main kit that you're using is an official kit, then that's fine. You can do that. Also, in terms of resin, this is one thing that people were asking about, if you can use resin or not. You can't use a full resin kit, but again, you can use a resin conversion kit or just like resin parts or resin weapon set or something like that. That would be okay. Just where, again, the main kit is an official kit, and then whatever you're adding onto that, it doesn't really matter. So of course you can also kit bash and use other different things. So if you're using a Gunpla kit and you want to use some Kotobukiya parts on it, whatever, that's fine. Or you're using a bunch of parts from a bunch of different Gunpla kits, or you can make something entirely just from spare parts of kits. That's fine as well too. As for 3D printing though, we do want to limit your 3D printing to, it should be around 10% of the full build. Basically, we don't want people to be able to just like 3D print half the thing. I don't think this is a kind of a whole other thing, but 3D printing, it's not like anything wrong with anything 3D printing that we don't think it should be involved in contests or anything like that. It's just for this particular contest, that's not really the focus, so we don't want people spending too much time designing a bunch of stuff 3D printing. We want the main focus of this to be on the finish of the build. So I'll come back to how we're going to be scoring it and all that a little bit here in just a minute, but just to go back to what I was saying about dioramas, no full dioramas, no multiple mecha robots or anything. We just want this to be one kit. You can make a small vignette though, so just a small base, and especially if you're including, or if you're doing like the weathered category, and if you want to include just some dirt or snow or whatever kind of setting you need around the bottom just to kind of set it in this weathered environment, I understand using a vignette is probably a good advantage for you guys. That said, that aspect of the kit is not really going to be necessarily scored that much. It's not really going to count too much for or against your score, whatever you put on the vignette. But if you want to just use that to put it in a setting or something like that, or even if you're doing a clean build and you want to put it in like a hanger or something like that, you just have a small base with just like a little hanger floor or something like that, that's okay. But just no like bigger dioramas or anything. Also should clarify too that while it can be any mecha, it can't be any suit like the Ultraman suit or a Kamen Rider suit, or someone asked too about the Tekkaman Blade kit as a kind of recent release. That one is also a suit, as I understand it, so anything that's like a suit like that is not allowed. It has to be something that's a mecha or something that's either piloted or not piloted. Also, someone else too asked about the Sakura Wars kits, and those are okay too. I mean, that'd be kind of the same thing as like a Machining Krieger kit essentially, so that's all okay. So ultimately, there's going to be 2 winners in each category, a first place and a second place in the weathered side, and a first place and second place in the clean side. And while you guys are working on your projects and stuff, you know, some contests they don't want you to share anything on social media, like while the contest is going on. But that's not the case in this contest. If you want to share whatever on social media, and you know, while it's your work in progress, or you know, even if you finish it and you want to share pictures around on social media or whatever, now that's fine. Please go ahead and do that. That's not a problem. And so the deadline is going to be May 1st. So that gives you guys over 2 months. I figured that should be enough time. We would usually like to give you guys a little bit more time if it's a kit that's like, if we're doing a contest around like a specific kit. For example, we did like the Nachin tank contest before, where I realized probably not a lot of people would actually have the kit at the time. So we wanted to give you guys some time to actually get the kit first and then work on it. But we figured since this is pretty wide open as for what you can use, most of you guys should have a kit around on hand that you can use, or if you need, you know, to order something, you know, still 2 months is a good amount of time for you guys to order something and then build up something nice with it as well too. So May 1st is the deadline, and let me tell you guys our guest judges here before we get into talking about how it's going to be scored. On the clean side, we've got 2 guest judges, and on the weather side, we've got 2 guest judges. On the clean side, we've got Chris Pabs. You guys may know him he's in a bunch of different like live shows on YouTube, and also he has his Instagram account, and he's around on Facebook posting stuff and everything as well too. And then Tim Harkins, Child of Mecha. If you guys aren't following him as well too, you've probably seen him a lot on this channel on Gunpla Talk in the past, and of course he has his own channel as well too, where he just recently returned to doing some live streaming as well there. So check that out now that he's doing his live streaming again. And he has his website and Instagram and all that other stuff as well too. So Chris Pabs, Child of Mecha on the clean side. On the weathered side, we've got Weathered As himself, Aaron Simons, who helped in the judging of the last contest as well too. So thank you as always to Aaron. Him and Tim as well are both 2-time GBWC winners for their respective countries, America and Australia. So very qualified builders there. And also Mike Raldi, you guys may know his Sazabi book, or he's done a number of other different book publications, specifically like focusing on weathering. And most of his work is in, you know, armor, tank, military models, things like that. But he's now into Gunpla quite a bit as well too, so he certainly knows his way around weathering as well. So 4 very qualified judges that are going to be helping out, and so make sure you guys check out all their social media. If you're not, I'll put links down below to their different pages and stuff, but yeah, just check them out. And again, big thank you to those guys for helping out. How we're going to be scoring this contest is, well, it's going to be broken down basically like this. About 50% is going to be just based on the finish. Like I said, that's the main focus of this. Your finish, whether it's clean or weathered. So we should also point out that, I just want to make a note on this as well too. I mean, like weathering, it doesn't mean doing the most weathering. It's not like we're gonna award to the person who does the most weathering on your kit. I mean, it's got to be tasteful weathering. So just keep that in mind if you're planning on entering the weathered category. You know, so you may put a ton of weathering into your build and stuff, and then it ends up at the end, the winner is a kit that's like hardly looks weathered at all. And you might think, hey, what the heck? It like doesn't even look weathered. But what we're really looking for is, you know, that really nice weathering. So it could be heavier or it could be lighter. It's just what we're going to be judging on, you know, ultimately how realistic does the finish look, and like how are you using different supplies, different methods for weathering it and everything like that, just to give it the best overall finish. That's what we're going to be looking for. And then the clean side as well too, we're going to be looking especially very closely at just making sure everything's all clean. You know, when you're doing your clean builds, you have to really be paying attention to every single little thing, because any imperfections are going to make it less clean anyway. All right, so that's going to be the main focus, and about 20% is going to be focused on just your creativity, that it's just your idea in general, any modifications, the colors that you guys choose, all of that will be going into, that'll be factored in as well too. So any scratch building, kit bashing, anything like that, that's not required. You guys don't have to do any customization at all. It's certainly not a requirement, but getting creative with it will give you some more points in at least this portion of the scoring. And also another 20% will be going just to the general build of it, removing seam lines, removing mold lines, removing any sinks, nub marks, things like that, just your general build. So especially on the clean side, you're going to have to be very careful with this because, if it's supposed to be clean, if we see, any over sanding or just snubs or seams that are not completely removed, just, be very careful with that because that's what we're going to be looking for, especially on the clean side. With weathering, it's a little bit easier to hide that stuff, but we will still be looking at that for the scoring. And the last part, 10% will also just come down to just the pose and the photography. So you guys need to send nice photographs. They don't need to be like artistic photographs or anything, and not like anything too artistic about it. And also, I'll talk about this a little bit more later, but you're not able to use any photo alteration or anything like that. So it's not a photography contest, but we do want to see just that the photos are nice, well lit, and also that the pose is good. You don't want to put a ton of work into a kit and then give it some stupid derpy looking pose. That's going to make it just less appealing. So we want you guys to also just put a little bit of effort into the pose as well too, after you've done all the work painting and everything. So that's how the scoring is basically going to be broken down for that. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Again, if you have questions, do feel free to let us know. Now, before I get into the prizes and how to enter, I just want to quickly touch back on the including resin parts. Now, we had to give a little bit of thought to this, whether to include resin parts or not, because a lot of times what resin, especially conversion kits, what they'll do is the point of using a conversion kit is that it adds more detail to the build. So if we see like some person who built one kit and another person who built like the same Gundam but with a resin conversion kit, this one's going to look so much more detailed and stuff because they used the resin conversion kit. So looking at the two of them, it might not be fair. You say, oh, they use this resin conversion kit, so that's why it's so much more detailed. So if you do use any resin conversion kit or anything like that, any resin parts, do let us know. We should be able to tell anyway, but just in case it's difficult for any of us judges to tell, let us know in your email later on once you finish the build and everything what you used and that, so that we can know and we can take that into account when scoring. So say for example, someone does this nice build using a resin conversion kit, but they don't really do a lot of like modifications or adding extra detail or adding extra panel lines or anything like that, but it's a really nicely detailed kit because it's using a resin conversion kit. And then you have this person over here who didn't use a resin conversion kit but just did a lot of hand modifications to it. I mean modifications by hand, scribing panel lines, adding details, customizing, changing proportions, things like that. So they both look very nicely detailed and everything, but this one's done by hand and this one's done by resin conversion kit. The one that's done by hand is going to get a little bit more points because that was all done by hand, whereas this one will still get some points for effectively, using a resin conversion kit. I mean, resin conversion kits aren't, that takes some skill as well too. So of course we'll take that into consideration, but everything that's actually done by you guys by hand, will ultimately give you a little bit more points as far as that goes. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, so finally, how to enter. If you've entered any of my contests before, it's basically going to work the same way. You need to send an entry email first, and that's going to be to ZakuAureliusOfficial@gmail.com. You need to send that email with the title in there, clean versus weathered. Just helps me to keep everything all organized. Send your entry email, and in the entry email, you need to include a photograph of your kit that you plan on using for the contest, and it has to be either brand new, showing that it's like brand new in the box, like the runner's like still in the box or something, or that it's just a snap built. And I've already had people asking me like, oh, I have this project that I just started recently, I've like kind of just started working on it and stuff. As long as you've not put any paint or modification on it yet, then it's okay to enter. But if you've already started painting it, if you've already started modifying it, then it's not okay. We want you guys to start a new kit specifically for this contest. That said, if it's only just something that's just snap built, that's fine. You can start with that, but just show me what you're entering in the photograph in your entry email. And the other thing you need to include in the photograph is a little handwritten note on just a piece of paper or whatever, or you can write it on the inside of your box, whatever. People have done that before as well too, whatever works for you guys. But anyway, however you write it in a note in the photograph, it has to include your name, the date, your country, and then you also need to include in the email, whether it's in the handwritten note in the photograph or you just type it in the email or whatever, you need to let me know some way which category you plan on entering, the clean or the weathered category. You have to let me know from the start so that I know again how to organize it, your guys' builds, because they'll be judged separately. So that's all you need to do to enter, and there's no deadline for when you need to send that, but you know, just send that soon, and then you should get a reply from me within a few days or so. Give it a couple days because I tend to get kind of swamped, and it might be a few days before I check it. But once you send that email, you don't need to wait for my confirmation email to start. You know, once you send that, feel free to just go ahead and start, and I'll get back to you with a confirmation email soon enough. If you don't hear from me in like a week, then, you know, maybe ping me again on my Facebook page or Instagram or something, like say, hey, did you get my email? But if you haven't heard from me for a day or two, then just wait a few days more. It's probably just that I'll get to it soon. But so you'll get a confirmation email, and then whenever you're finished with the project, of course by May 1st, then you need to send your final entry and submit it in the same email chain. So send it again as a reply to the same email chain between us there for your entry. So that, again, just keeps everything well organized for me. And what I want you guys to send this time is 10 photographs. 10. I don't know how many times I have to say this. Every single time, no matter how clear I am in explaining the rules about how many photographs you guys should send, someone sends the wrong number of photographs. Send not 8, not 9, not 12, not 15, just 10 photographs exactly. And now, some people have asked before if they can submit some collages. So if you want to include collages of multiple photographs within one image, you can do that for a maximum of 2 images. So it'd be like 8 regular images and 2 collaged images. That's okay, but no more than that. And anyway, finally, 10 images, please, because I'm getting ready to disqualify people if they can't follow the rules. I haven't done it before because I feel bad about doing it, but I'm serious, guys. Send 10 images, and in those 10 images, don't include any work in progress images. It has to be 10 images of your final build. With this contest focusing on the finish, we need to see it really well. So make sure your photographs are good, clear, you know, good enough quality. That said, don't send the images super huge, and don't send me, please, any external links where I have to go to some other page or something to download images, or send it like by Google Drive where I have to download it and then sometimes it doesn't work. I have to email you back again to get permissions. If you can, send the images within the email. That just, again, makes it a lot easier for me. If you're only able to fit, 2 images in an email before you hit the size limit, that's fine. Just send 5 emails. That's still easier than having to go to do anything else for that. So if you have to break it up over multiple emails, that's fine. Just try to send the images within the email. So yeah, just make sure everything's well lit. We can see the thing really well. You need at least a few images showing the full build, and then some close-up images would be good as well too, so we can see everything close up as well too. We need to be able to see it really well in order to judge it. If we can't see it very well, we can't judge it very well. So if you're sending me like some really dark photos where we can't really see it, it's hard to give it it's hard to, I guess, confidently give it a good high score when we really don't know what's there. So, at your own peril, send those images, So if you don't have a good lighting setup or something like that, you don't have a good camera in your house, go outside. Natural lighting outside is best anyway. So especially when it's like not too bright sunny, if it's like an overcast day, that'd be perfect. Go out and get outside. The background doesn't really matter that much, so as long as that we can see the kit very well and everything's nice and well lit and everything. That's what we're looking for. So please do that. And then once again, once your final entry email is received, I'll again give you a confirmation within a few days. And then shortly after May 1st, we'll announce the winners to give us a week or so to confer, me and the judges, to just kind of go over that and pick who the winners are going to be. And then we'll have an announcement coming shortly after that. And one last real quick thing about photographs too is that, as I mentioned before, you can't use any photo effects, so don't do any extra alteration or anything to the photographs, anything like that. Aside from just like very minor adjustments to your brightness or exposure or something like that, but otherwise no post effects altering the color or anything like that in photographs or adding any effects. Just don't do any of that for your photos. Again, if you guys have any questions regarding that, feel free to ask, but hopefully that should be pretty clear enough for you guys. So finally, the prizes. So these prizes are all going to be coming from USA Gundam Store. The first place winners can choose between the A and B pack, and the second place winners can choose between the C and D pack. say, for example, okay, let me tell you what the prizes are first, and then I'll explain. The A pack is Master Grade themed. This would be the Master Grade Faz Verka and the Master Grade Gundam Barbatos, as well as some USA Gundam Store tools, the USA Gundam Store knife, nippers, part separator, all that stuff, and then also the full range of mecha decals as well too. Very nice. From Tim, Child of Mecha. So that's the A pack, Master Grade themed. The B pack is Real Grade themed. So instead of 2 big Master Grades, you get to 4 Real Grades. You get the new Gundam, the Evangelion Unit 0, the Astray Red Frame, and the Impulse Gundam, as well as, once again, the same USA Gundam Store tools and the full range of mecha decals as well too. That's a constant for all of the prizes. Have all the tools and the decals. That's for all of them. So if for the first place winners in each category, they can choose between those two. If they both choose the same prize pack, that's fine. So if they both end up choosing the Master Grade prize pack, that's fine. Or if they choose different ones, that's fine, whatever. So it doesn't matter. If you win first place in either category, those are your 2 choices. Now, if you win second place in either category, your 2 choices are the C or the D pack. The C pack here is the MG Gundam Dynamis, as well as the USA Gundam Store tools and the mecha decal range of decals. Sorry. And then the D pack is again Real Grade themed RG Evangelion Unit 0 and the RG Strike Gundam, and plus the tools and decals. So you'll have all of that. So if you win second place in either one, you'll choose between either one of those prize packs for that as your choices. So those are your choices of prizes, and like I said, I believe True Gunpla is going to be throwing in prizes as well too, and also Mike Rinaldi is also going to be donating some prizes for you guys as well too. So as for how those are going to be distributed and what exactly those prizes are going to be, it's not yet totally all fleshed out, so I'll let you guys know about that soon. I'll post something around on social media to let you guys know how those prizes are going to be added as well too. But thank you to those guys as well for throwing in the prizes, and just thank you to USA Gundam Store for supplying the prize packs. Thank you to the judges for just agreeing to help out. Thank you guys for sticking around through this pretty lengthy video, I know, but there's a lot to explain. I just want to make sure everything's very crystal clear for you guys, so hopefully that clarifies everything. I don't think there was any other questions that you guys had. I'm already getting a ton of entry emails rolling in, and so I think we're going to have a lot of entries, which is great. I'm glad that a lot of you guys are excited to join this contest. I think it's going to be a fun one. It's just going to be nice to see, not focused on anything really too specific, other than just some really nice, good quality finishes on your guys' work, so that'll be good to see. So it'll be nice to see you guys, really putting that attention to detail into the build, because that's what we're going to be looking for. Definitely, whether you go on the clean side or the weathered side, we're definitely going to be looking for people who are really taking the time and effort to put that care into the finish of their build. It's very important, and so there's no rushing this one. We do want, you guys have 2 months. I think that's a good enough time, but definitely take your time with the build, and I wish you guys all the best of luck. Again, if you have questions, do feel free to let me know at any time. And as always, guys, whether you win or not, all of the entries are going to be included in a video at the end of the contest. When I announce the winners, I'll also include a slideshow of all your guys' entries, so even if you don't win, you can still see your entry along with everyone else's there in that final image, in that final collage of images, slideshow of images at the final video there for that. And also I'll post all of them on my Facebook page as well too, an album of all the entries for you guys to check out as well too. But that's it for today, guys, so thank you for your patience. I know it's a long video, but hopefully that explains everything. Till next time, guys, hope you're all having a great day. I'll see y'all later. Bye, guys.